Hey guys, today we're going to talk about mean of a set of data. So go ahead and put your name in the data at the top. So we're talking about sets of data. We're just talking about groups of numbers, and these groups of numbers might be, I don't know, how many kids are in each classroom. It might be how many pizzas a person can eat. It could be the test scores on a test, although I hope not because those are all really low test scores. So when we're talking about a mean of a data set, we're just talking about the average. And the way you find the mean is by adding, is by dividing the sum of the data set by the number in the data set. Hopefully that didn't confuse you too much. So when you have a data set like this, first thing you got to find is the sum of the data set. So you have to add all the numbers in the data set to get the sum. So far it's pretty easy. The only part that's kind of tricky about it is you have a lot of big numbers here. Once you have the sum, you're going to divide by the number of data in the set. The quotient, or the answer, is the average or mean. All right, so let's go ahead and look at that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add up all my numbers. So I have 13, 18, 13. I'm only going to add a few at a time. 3 and 3 is 6. 6 and 8 is 14. 1, 2, 3, 4. My next three are 14, 13, 16. 14, 13, 16. 6 and 4 is 10. 3 and 4 is 7. So I have 17. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 14, 21. 23. Nope, 13, sorry. So that's 10, 15. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I should end up with 135 as my sum. So if I add all these together, it's going to equal 135. Now I got to divide the sum by the number of data in the set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count how many numbers are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to divide 135 by 9, and I'm going to get my answer. Yours is going to say here if you end up with a decimal to round to the nearest tenth, which you'll see in the next problem. So 9 can't go into 1, but it goes into 13 one time. When I subtract, I have 4. Bring down my 5. 9 goes into 45 5 times. 5 times 9 is 45. When I subtract, I get 0. So my answer is 15 for my mean. Box that up like a nice little present. If you're looking, the average is really just like what most things are near. So most of these answers fall around 15. There's a couple of outliers like 21, but for the most part, they're all within a couple of 15. So go ahead and pause and try the next set of data. Remember what I said, when you are dividing, you're only going to divide until you can round your number to the nearest tenth. Mine doesn't say it, although your worksheet does right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and try it out, guys. You should have had 89, 76. When you add those together, 5, 7, 16, 85 and 76. That's 16, 7, 14, 21. So it should be 3. What have I used so far? 89, 76, 85, 76. 77 and 84. 17, 17. It's all right. I thought that should be 487. Hold on a second. 9 and 6 is 15, carrier 1. 1 and 8 is 9, 9 and 7 is 16. 10, 16, carrier 1. That's 15. Nope, that is right. This should be a 2. So this should be an 8. I have a helpful little cheat sheet over here so that I could make sure I had the right answers. Okay. So now you're going to have 487. Sorry about that, guys. And you're going to divide that by the number of data in the set. That means you're going to count how many there are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to go ahead and divide this by 6. 6 can't go into 4, but it goes into 48 8 times. 8 times 6 is 48. When I subtract, I get 0. I'm going to bring down my 7. 6 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. When I subtract, I get 1. Now, I cannot have a remainder, but I'm going to keep going with a decimal because I'm adding to the rounding to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to add my decimal point in my 0. 6 goes into 10 one time. Make sure you put your decimal point right above. 1 times 6 is 6. When I subtract, I get 4. I'm going to add another 0. 6 goes into 40. 6 times. I get 36. When I subtract, I get 4. I actually could keep going, but I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to notice I keep getting 4. I'm going to have a repeating decimal here, and I don't need to keep going because I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, which means I only need to know the number next to it to figure out if I'm rounding up or staying the same. Since this is a 6, the 6 is going to tell the 1 to round up. So I'm going to end up with 81.2 for my mean. Okay. If I'm being very honest with you today, if you're having a hard time with adding and getting the correct numbers, use a calculator if you need to, but know that you will not have a calculator on the test, so make sure you can do it. The only reason I'm saying is I want you to know how to do it more so than the actual making sure you have the right numbers. So 6 problems. Some of the numbers get a little large, some of them are a little long, but you guys are going to be able to do it. Bye, guys.